Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Deputy Prime Minister. How is the Albanese Labor government cleaning up the mess of the former government to strengthen Australia's national security?
Give the call to the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Defence.
Well, can I thank the honourable member for her question and thank her also for finally giving Boothby a voice in this chamber. Mr Speaker, over the last 6 months, I think everyone on this side of the House has been struck by just how consequential is the moment in which we have come to office, how precarious and how complex are Australia's strategic circumstances, and how the lost decade that Australia experienced under the former coalition government could not have come at a worse time. But, Mr Speaker, in the last 6 months we have started to turn things around. Over the last 6 months I have met with 24 different defence ministers around the world. Over the last decade, those opposite had 24 different ministers in defence just here in Australia. Over the last decade, on the diplomatic front, those opposite cracked jokes, they misled presidents, they yelled at trading partners, they denied the science of climate, leaving Australia the most diminished that we have ever been in the world. Over the last 6 months, we are stabilising the relationship with China without any concessions. We have re-engaged with the Pacific with energy and credibility. We are bolstering our relationship with our alliance partner, the United States. We are deepening our historic relationship with the United Kingdom, and we are repairing a fundamentally important relationship to Australia with France. Over the last decade, those opposite left us with 28 different defence programs running a total of 97 years over time. Over the last 6 months, we have reasserted ministerial oversight in defence procurement. Over the last decade, those opposite observed that we now sit within the 10-year threat window, but then did nothing about it, shrugged their shoulders and walked off the stage.
The Deputy Prime Minister will resume his seat. The member for Moreton is getting close to leaving as well, and I will hear from the Manager of Opposition Business.
Point of order on relevance. He's forgotten the relevant fact. Which side had the lowest share of defence spending as a share of GDP since World War II?
The Manager will resume his seat. Order. When the House comes to order, it was pretty clear yesterday if that was to happen again, people would leave the chamber. Out of respect for the manager's position, that's the last time. Give the call to the Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Over the last 6 months, we have engaged in the single biggest re-evaluation of Australia's strategic posture in more than 35 years. And well may they shout, Mr Speaker, because over the last 10 years the total sum amount of defence policy on that side of the House has been shouting at the world while allowing Australia's hard power equation to diminish. And as a result, we were being left weaker. Because at the end of the day, there is a vast difference between being obsessed with the politics of defence and actually doing defence policy. Well, Mr Speaker, under the Albanese government, we are very different. Australia is back to being very serious about defence. We are making the hard calls in relation to defence policy, making the hard decisions so that in this very difficult world we can keep Australians safe.